What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Game Time Live. It's another Sunday, another edition of Game Time Live, and we've got a special guest in the building for you guys today. We've got the head coach of the IU East men's basketball team, Coach Mark Hester, in the building today. Coach, welcome back to the show. Great to have you as always.
Great to be here as always.
Great to have you, Coach. And of course, I am here with my co-host, my partner in crime, D. Cothran. He seems to be a little more with his emotions today after an eventful college football weekend and weekday. We're going to talk about the NFL. You saw the title of the video. We're talking Seattle Seahawks. And we'll also talk about the Buccaneers getting the win over the Panthers, obviously. But we start with a conversation with Coach Hester, continuing our discussion with IU East men's basketball and following the pack. And hey, look who we got, Ramon in the building. Ramon, we've got Coach Hester with us here today. It's going to be a good one. Coach, I will start it off with you and just kind of talk about the season. The last time we talked here on the show, you guys were just getting done with the show, and we were kind of previewing that Kentucky Christian matchup. And then there's been a lot of games after that, right? If you count the win against Warner and you go all the way up to Crowley's Ridge, you guys had a lot of wins in there, and you're sitting with not a bad record. I know you probably do expect better, of course. Talk about this stretch of the season and how you feel about it and where you feel the team is at.
Well, I mean, I guess, probably should appreciate the wins more than I know I do. When you get to a certain level in your career and expectations and stuff, it's more about the wins do. And maybe this is sad, but this is a life of coach. The wins mean nothing. It's just the losses hurt really bad. That's the sad life that we live. I'm one of those people that I hate to lose more than I love to win. It's one of those situations. We went from, after we lost that Pikeville game, we didn't lose again until against a really good Campbellsville team, in which we played pretty well for a large majority of the game. We had one stretch where they made a big run, and we just couldn't overcome it. But other than that, we've been playing really well and doing things right a little bit more consistently. And then since the Campbellsville game, it's just kind of dropped off. And the last two games, we've really struggled to execute defensively at the level that we expect them to and that we work on every day, which is, obviously for a coach, is frustrating. Part of it is youth. Part of it is just not paying attention to detail. I think it's a longer season. We've already played as many games as what would be a half of a high school season. And so it's just maintaining that focus for some of these younger guys for this amount of time. And then for some of our older guys that aren't playing as much as what they are used to, being able to stay bought in and finding ways to still contribute to the team. That's always a challenge. There's just so much more to it than what people think. The average person on the street thinks it, it's an easy job and it's just basically basketball. It's everything but that, and it's just a long grind. And right now I'm feeling it, to be honest. I'm in a way better space probably than I have been the last couple of years. But it's just, there's a lot going on. I got a new staff, with a young team, and it's just a lot to take on. But we'll get through it. We're going to grow. I told them after the game yesterday, I wasn't happy with them. But I told them this is part of the growth process that we have to go through in order to get to the success level that we want to get to. You can't get to the success without going through the growing pains. It's just kind of frustrating when they happen and how they happen.
No, yeah, and you talked about yesterday's game, and really good first half. I thought a very strong first half, and then you get to that second half of the game against WVU Tech, and I said it on the broadcast and I said it after. It felt like the effort on defense wasn't there for a lot of that second half. I feel I think the big thing that helped in the first half is you guys talked about it very early on in the summer was getting up there, jumping up and trying to contest the shot. And I think you guys did a good job of that in the first half. And in the second half, that basically went away in the second half. There was a couple of contests on the side of IU East, but overall, I feel like the effort to get out and contest the shot wasn't there in the second half. And then offensively, things got a little stagnant. Talk about that second half a little bit, because, you know, not only was it frustrating for me up there watching the game, but I obviously, when you're down there on the sidelines and you're watching this play out, it obviously gets frustrating.
You know, yes, our effort dropped tremendously. And it let them, and this is college basketball, when we're trying to get these guys to understand, when they find something that you are struggling to guard, they're going to go back to it over and over and over again. And they did. It was the same play that they ran and doing it. And we're not at a stage yet in our process that we can make seamless adjustments. We're just not intellectually ready to do that yet, you know, basketball wise. And that's not necessarily anybody's fault. It's part of, again, the process of the growth of the team.
Yeah.
You know, I would have loved to have made some changes in mid stride yesterday to what we were doing and our coverages on particularly on the ball screens. But honestly, I don't know that it would have been any different, because I think we would have messed it up probably worse. You know, just because we're not ready yet to do that. Like, we don't have the level of, they know what to do. They don't understand why we do it. And you've got to have the understanding to be able to make adjustments. Yeah. And so we were doing, and there were parts of the jobs being done, but they weren't being done at the level of effort that it takes, you know. And then our default with the young team and the types of players that we have right now offensively is, when we struggle, that we do get stagnant. You know, we want to dribble too much. We want to do it ourselves. We're used to being that guy, and we don't realize that you're out there on the court with 4 other dudes that were that guy in high school too. Yes. When they're open, you got to give it to them. You know, it's got to go, you know, it's got to go to where it needs to go when it needs to get there. And we struggle with movement, because, again, with our youth or inexperience or whatever you want to call it, we tend to want to catch and dribble instead of cut off of people, use each other to make the game easy. We want to do things the hardest way possible. And we harp on that a lot. And that's the frustrating thing that people don't understand, is that, you know, we've had 79 practices for 2 hours each. And our practice schedule is basically a repeat every other day, because we're just working on the things. My whole philosophy is be great at the things that happen a lot. And so we go over the simple things that need to be done over and over and over and over again ad nauseum. And when those things don't get done, there's frustration involved. You know what I mean? That's part of teaching. And when I exploded there towards the end of the game on him, I asked, am I not a good teacher? Is Bishop not a good teacher? Because we are doing everything that we can think of to be, and up to that point, I had been very positive and encouraging with them about what needed to be done, because I felt like we were still going to make a run. We were still going to get it done. But then that's
what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah. When they just quit and you saw it,
you see, yes,
that's when that's a non-negotiable for me. I don't care what the score is. I don't care how much you play. I don't care how much you do whatever, but you quit. The only guarantee is failure at that point. And I can't stand that. You know, if you're going to go down swinging, man.
Yeah. No, I agree with you for sure. Coach, I got to ask, what number clipboard are we on throughout this point in the year?
Dude, I've had the same one for probably about going on almost 10 years now.
Okay.
That thing, so it's metal, and that's why I bought it. It's metal. It is. I've had other coaches look at it and just die laughing, because it tells a story. Like, when you look at it, it tells a story. The corners are bent. It's warped in the middle. There's things. I'm just like, I'm riding this thing out till it fails. They said you gotta frame it at the end. Like, you gotta frame this thing, and I probably do that.
I never knew it was the same one. Me and Nicole always go, well, there's a new one. You know, we think, there's a new one.
I bought it just because it was metal, and It's been great. I got a brand new one exactly like it. I bought 2 of them because I didn't know how long it was going to last, and it's still sitting in the office in the plastic. And I'm gonna ride this one out till it breaks. But I mean, I got my blood all over that thing because it's got sharp edges. There's no edging around it. And I drew something up one time and I sat down and I went to shove it between the seat. I keep it between my seat and my top assistant's seat right there. And I shoved it down in there and it hit a piece on the chair and stopped and it went through my hand. And I knew it hurt and I'm just sitting there. And I looked down and there's just blood going everywhere. I had tore my hand all to pieces. Like, I mean, that's a part of me now. So that's why I keep that towel in case I do it again.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, I keep the towel as one, I got to have a fidget. And 2, it's a homage to the alma mater, Western Kentucky. That's, it's Coach Diddle's thing with the towel, and that's the logo, now. So that's part of it.
Ramon, I want to bring you in. I heard you were kind of agreeing with Coach said when it comes to, the younger athletes, and there's some things you can't run just because of the IQ and stuff like that. Before you speak, Ramon, I'll let you know you are muted. So you might want to unmute, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because you seem to agree with what Coach was saying.
Yeah, you see so many young athletes, whether it's in high school, and I hear so many college coaches talking about it. The IQ, the athletic ability is there, the individual training, they've done it, the one-on-ones and whatever, they've done all that stuff. But when it comes to that IQ and understanding things, they just don't know. So when you start implementing different sets in basketball or plays and football, they just can't run it because they don't truly understand it. And it takes so much repetition, like not just like 40 or 50 practice, almost like years that they just don't understand.
That's exactly it. Years.
You can't do that. And it's the stuff that we've learned when we were in middle school because we played. We didn't practice individual drills as much. We played. So we understood like, hey, this guy, if he hedges too hard, this is what I need to do. If he gets on that pack line too quick, this is what we need to do. If I run a receiver and he runs a clear route at the free safety, I know what's going to happen on the backside of the other. Yeah, you can give me. I can talk about this, Coach. We can probably talk about this for a couple of hours. They don't know. But if you isolate them and say one-on-one, they get all the answers.
Yeah. It's because they don't play anymore. Everything is tailored towards that individual. They don't understand that it's in basketball it's a 5-on-5 game, and football it's 11-on-11, and there's things that work together, in sync in order to allow things to happen. But they don't understand that because it's literally all about me, and it drives us insane. Because they're just geared that way, and every kid is not, especially when they get to college, every kid is not a scorer, but yet they go get individual workout and training, and what they want to do, they want to shoot it, or they want to show it. And it's like, I'm not interested in you being inefficient. That's not what is going to get you to the next level or whatever. Yesterday, I said this on the bench. I said, there's one skill that is guaranteed to get you paid 6 figures a year for as many years as you want to play basketball, and that's rebounding. And none of y'all want to do it. I was like, why? Because it's not cool. And you don't see trainers I've never seen a trainer on social media or advertising or doing anything else that has bragged about the fact that, hey, we'll make you a better rebounder.
Not at all.
And that's a translatable skill. You watch the middle school kid that rebounds, that goes out to get 15, 20 rebounds a game. What do they do in high school? They get 15, 20 rebounds a game. Then they go to college. What do they do? They get 15 rebounds a game, and then they get paid because those are things that win. Those are the things that win. Guys that set great screens, guys that have the high IQ and understand how to make the ball move and how to play two space, not try to take take the ball and just do what their trainer taught them to do. They're the ones that win. And it's like, but there's so few of those anymore, and it's just frustrating. Like you said, it takes years of working on this stuff to get these kids to understand the stuff that 10 years ago they knew as freshmen coming in because they did it in high school. Now the high school coaches don't want to teach them anything because they're afraid they'll up and leave. You know, and AAU, it's just glorified babysitting. I know, I've coached it. I watch it all the time. That's all it is. It's pickup game with officials. You know, and they can talk about, oh, we do this all we want to. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to worry about their grades. You don't have to worry about how they're eating and what they're doing. You don't have to worry about all the other stuff that goes along with it. You know, making them a better person. You just, you know, they're out there, you know, driving them to the events, coaching during the game, which it's easy. There's no scouting reports. You don't have to do any of the extra work. You don't. It's just, you know, it's not even comparable. But that's what these kids live for nowadays, and they love that because those coaches don't get on them and hold them accountable. You know, because it's they might leave, and so they love that. I get to do whatever I want. Coach ain't gonna say nothing. Or there's 8 guys on the team, so they know that they're gonna get to play. You know, now they get in a situation where everybody on their team was the best player on that team. Well, somebody's got to be held accountable to something. You know, and kids don't like it. The parents don't like it. Hell, administration don't like it. You know, when you got to get on it, but then. You know, what are you going to do with these seniors that in 4 months from now are out in the real world with us?
Boy,
how are they going to, and you know this, Ramon, in high school, that's even 4 years earlier than what we have them at. Yes. You know what I mean? And it's like come April, May, you're out in the real world paying taxes, got to get insurance and everything else, just like everybody else. How are you going to handle that when you've had zero adversity or you've been sheltered from anything that's any type of accountability? You know, I mean, it's shameful what we're doing to this generation.
Yep.
Daryl, I want to give you a chance to jump in here. You got any questions for Coach Hester?
Yeah, Coach, we talked about, you know, the parenting piece, the teaching piece, and then the kids of today. And I think you make a good point. It's what we're doing for the kids today, not the other way around. The kids will do what we ask them to do. We just have to ask them and try to train them to do it. But earlier, I think we had a call, I think it was about, I don't know, a month and a half ago, we were talking. And, you know, there were some frustrations you had. And I think you went on a run of about 4 or 5 in a row. You all had 4 or 5 wins in a row. Talk about what happened in that 4 or 5 game win streak that you saw that you felt, hey, maybe something's clicking and something that did click, and then maybe something clicked for a short while that they've kind of reverted back to. If you remember that conversation we had.
I do. And I'll tell you what it was. It's pretty simple. I think we were shooting the ball really well during that time. And because we were shooting the ball really well and being really efficient offensively, even though we weren't doing a lot of things right, we were just making some shots, right? The attention now to the effort on the defensive end was a little more. And we could make up for our mistakes because we were going to go down, score on the other end. Well, you can't live that way throughout the course of multiple games in a row. Defense is the one thing that has to be consistent because there's going to be games where you don't shoot it well, where you really struggle. The other team has a great game plan, or you just can't throw it in the ocean. Doesn't matter. You got to be able to now stop people, and you stop people with doing things consistently and having a plan where all 5 guys are working together. I mean, I get, I say this all the time, I get it from Coach K. I'm not going to take credit for this, but I got 5 hands right here. I can smack you and it's going to hurt. But if I put them together as a fist and they act as one, I can do some damage. Right. Yeah. So that's the way you have to be connected on the defensive end. And it seems like shooting the ball the level that we were during that time made up for a lot of our inefficiency or ineffectiveness on the defensive end. And then we have a couple games where we don't shoot it as well. And now all of a sudden we're playing from behind a lot. And the guys' energy drops because they're frustrated that they didn't make the shot, or this guy didn't see me on the kick out or I cut and this guy didn't see me, because it's about me. It's not about the fact that, hey, this guy cut and he took two guys with him. Now make the kick to the other guy. I mean, we haven't understood that part of it yet. And at some point, and again, this goes back to how they were raised, what they were allowed to do in youth, in their youth days growing up in high school. get over yourself. Drop your ego. It's about us getting it done together, not you being the focal point all the time. And that's frustrating.
I want to make sure the viewers are aware of this too, right? When you say how they're raised, you're not taking a dig at someone's parent. You're talking about raising in the basketball game, in the leadership game, and what you do from 3rd to 5th grade to 7th grade to 9th grade to AAU, that type of thing, right? And to your point, if
that's my wife yelling at the kids.
Are you good? You're good. I know. Oh, shoot! Almost that time.
I know what you're going at, and yes, I mean, in the basketball community. But then again, you ask any high school coach, and what their biggest fear is the car ride home. What are the parents telling the kid about how they played, or about what they expected to do, or around the kitchen table? I'm saying around the kitchen table. Not many people do that stuff anymore, but we have to
in front of the TV in the living room.
Yeah, but the car ride home. Well, you should have shot it more. You should have got the ball more. You should have done this more. You should have been this focal point of whatever. Instead of what did you were you a good leader? Were you a good teammate? Did you do what was asked of you that day? Did you execute what you needed to? Those are the things that need to be asked, not hey, did you, that's one of the things when I'm recruiting, I focus on, I always ask them, so how'd it go tonight when they play a game? I want to know, what's the first thing that they text me back? Oh, I had whatever points, or I had this, or I had that. Or did they say, we didn't play very well, or we played really good, we played really good, or we did something. I want the kid that's answering in plural form, and and talking about how the team played. I'll be able to look up what you did. I don't need you to tell me that. I want to know where your mindset is at. Are you a team guy, or are you a me guy? And I think that's ingrained somewhat at home. It's ingrained. I'm a parent. I know. And then because I make a point with our kids that we don't talk about that stuff. We're talking about what kind of teammate were you? I've fussed at them for how they've acted on the bench. Not being into the game. Looking like they're pouting or something. So there's a lot of that goes on, but then again, it's mostly comes back to the youth system and athletics, and people don't hold the kids accountable. They let them get away with things, and that just kind of a trickle down effect, and then that becomes the expectation, and it's easy to run from people that are holding you accountable now, because you can just leave, instead of realizing that, hey, that's what's best for me. I need to grow. I need to get better. I need to, I need to be held accountable, and sticking it out and growing in that. And you see great things from the people that do that, and so that's, it's like kind of like the transfer portal and all that stuff. I don't have no problem with the guys that play 4 years at a place and then take a 5th year and go somewhere else. That's fine, to get a grad degree or do whatever it is, but you put your time in, and you've done what you're supposed to do, and you graduated from the place that you were at. That's much more appealable to me than the guy, especially in football, that are 4-time transfers. They're just chasing more money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That bothers me. For society, not as an athletics person.
Yeah. No, we've talked. That's been kind of our big talking point as well, talking about the transfer portal and everything just kind of going on with college sports at the moment, whether it's basketball or football. Coach, I know you got to get out of here. Enjoy the basketball game today with your son. I wish him luck. And enjoy your Sunday.
I'll do that. I got to do that before my wife enters me in the transport portal.
Hey, we need an update today, Coach. We need to hear from you. I need to see what your text looks like today. I don't want to hear anything about points either.
About which one?
Today's game. I want to get some feedback from your text message today.
Okay, I got you.
All right,
guys.
Once again, thanks for joining us.
All right,
folks. The show will continue to roll on. Ramon, I'm so glad you could join us so we can talk about your San Francisco 49ers. So it'll be great to have you in the building today. So, fellas, where do we want to start? I mean, great interview with Coach Hester. It's always great to have Coach Hester on the show. I think he made some great points. Ramon, obviously, you've kind of agreed with that as well. And we're going to talk about college football a little bit today, but let's start with the NFL, right? Yesterday's games, we won't start with Seattle and the 49ers. We'll start with Carolina and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay gets the win in what was a very rainy day in Tampa Bay yesterday. Panthers didn't play bad. I mean, neither team looked great, right? It was as Daryl has said on here many of times, it was an ugly win, but you'd rather win ugly than lose pretty, right? So Tampa Bay gets the win. Carolina trudged through it, tried to get the win. They are now tied. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The first time these two teams played, did Carolina win?
No, Tampa Bay won.
So,
But the tiebreaker is this: if the Saints win, Tampa Bay is in. If Atlanta wins, because Atlanta and the Saints are playing today, Atlanta wins, Carolina's in. However, if it's a tie, Tampa Bay is in.
interesting.
What's crazy is what their fate is sealed by two teams who ain't got nothing to really play for.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins versus Tyler Shuck.
The Saints got about 7 starters out. Olave's out. Their running backs out. They've got, it's going to be tough for the Saints to pull this victory out and have Tampa Bay in. But if I was I'm a betting person, I would bet on the Carolina Panthers being able to sneak in, win the division, and get a home game. So just based off of the Saints and having all those players out, and the Falcons and the Saints are a real rivalry, right? So those teams don't like each other. Those cities don't like each other. And Atlanta's going to be really happy trying to put it to the Saints one last week, because I think Saints beat Atlanta earlier in the season as well, too.
Yeah. Ramon, your thoughts on that game before we head over to Seattle and San Francisco?
The actual game with Tampa, or the game that's going to decide who's getting in?
Just in general, wherever you want to go.
I would hate to be a coach or a player that my fate is decided on two teams that ain't got nothing to play for. Man, that is the worst in the world. Like, look, who want to get the better draft position? I don't know. Like, so yeah, that's bad. But the game between with Tampa, man, I thought it was a fairly good play game, being at the weather conditions and things like that. So Tampa went on a slide. It was good to see them get a win, and hopefully they'll get in, because I kind of like those guys a little bit. But hey, your hands are in the fate of somebody else, and that's a tough place to be.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, and there was two teams last night that did control their own destiny. It was a battle for not only the NFC West, but also the NFC. The Seattle Seahawks get the win over the San Francisco 49ers in what was a good game. I watched the whole game. Seattle gets the win. We've talked about Seattle a lot these last couple of weeks on the channel, and here they are again. But now they bring it home. They are number 1 in the NFC. They will hold the number 1 seed in the NFC heading into the playoffs. Folks, I now pose the question once again: are we buying or selling the Seattle Seahawks? Ramon, curious to see what your answer is. Of course, I am buying in on Seattle. I still think the Rams are probably the best team, though, in this moment in time. Daryl, buying or selling?
You want Ramon or Daryl? You said Ramon. You want to go Ramon?
I just said I was interested. Either one of you can go.
I know last week or week before last, I said how impressed I was with Seattle as a whole, but I didn't like the quarterback, Darnold, because I felt like there was going to be a point where he went to bed. Well, he played good enough yesterday. He didn't play, superiorly great, but he played good enough to beat a really good San Francisco 49er team at home. And at this point, they're the division winners. I think they're the NFC champs, meaning top seed in the NFC. You have to buy them in this case, because they went on the road and did something a lot of that the Bears, who we were talking about earlier, couldn't do in the same building. And Brock Purdy lit them up like a Christmas tree. Seattle went in there and shut it all down. I get it that it's the end of the year and guys are banged up. Hell, everybody's banged up at this time of the year. So give Seattle credit where it's due. And hey, I'm buying them. I still like the Rams maybe a little more at the end of the day. But hey, if Seattle went on and won 2 games and got in the NFC Championship game. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me the way they've been playing lately.
Yeah. Ramon, buying or selling? Seattle.
It depends on what you mean by buying, right? So I think they're a very good team, very, very good team. And I think that they can make it to a Super Bowl. So if that's the question, yeah, I'm definitely buying.
Mm-hmm.
Am I buying them as the most dominant team, a surefire? Nah, not at all. I think the NFC is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
I think defensively they look really, really good, sharp. But I do have some concerns on. The only concerns I have is, you only scored 13 points against a decimated 49ers defense. That defense 49ers is a shell. They have none of their good players. They're not very good. We haven't been good at defense all year, So for you to only score 13 points, if I'm a coach, I'm going back like, ooh, I only scored 3 points in the second half against the Niners.
Yeah.
The Niners give up more points than that. Kind of concerned, huh?
I was just
kind of concerned that.
Go ahead.
I'm concerned that way. But that defense is tough, man. They're really, really good defensively. But, you look at the Niners, they gave up, 38 to the Bears, 27 to the Colts, 24 to the Titans. They even gave up a touchdown to the Browns. They gave up, 22 to the Cardinals, 26 to 42 to the Rams. They give up points, 24 to the Giants, and you only score 13 and 3 in the second half. Now I'm going back. I'm happy for the win. If I'm the coach, I'm number one. I love it. But but come the next day, today, I'm sitting with my coach, especially my offensive group, like, man, we got to score more points.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a problem of. I mean, last night they missed that last field goal. I don't think
he missed two. He missed two.
Okay. Then I missed that one because I was going back and forth with college basketball.
The thing is, some of these coaches, right? They get so comfortable with their, Seattle's defense has been lights out. Sometimes these coaches get comfortable with that defense and say, well, we're not going to take chances because we know our defense is going to bail us out. There may be a game where your defense allows 24 points, and if you haven't unleashed the beast, so to speak, and they're not used to that may be a challenge for them in a game, in a 27-24 game, 30-24 game, right? You get comfortable, say, don't worry about it. Defense has this. Yeah. But what if one time the defense blows a coverage? That's a touchdown. Then all of a sudden, sack fumble on your quarterback. That's another touchdown. Now, because those things happen, right? It's easy for it to happen. And I just think sometimes these coaches play to not to lose. I know you hear that a lot, but to worry about their jobs, right? Hey, just go out and swing it, man. You're head coach for a reason. Go out if you've got the talent, and I think we've all said it. Seattle's got a good running game. They've got a good set of receivers. They've got a quarterback, a 3-year, $100 million quarterback. Who people telling me I'm crazy for not saying he's great. You got to score more points to that point. And not just settle for field goals. So yeah, I would agree with that 100%, man. They gotta definitely put their foot on the gas when it comes to points.
Yeah, I mean, I think Seattle they're definitely deserving of being the number one seed. I think you both make a great point when it comes to the points, and I think sometimes you get to one of these games where there isn't a lot of points scored. It's a slugfest, and I think Seattle had one of those games last night, and we'll see how it carries into the playoffs. I'll pose this question to you. We saw all the college football teams struggle, the teams that had a bye, right, or quote unquote struggled. Obviously it's the NFL. These are grown men. Do you see Seattle maybe being a bit rusty come that divisional game, whoever they have to play against a wild card team that's going to play? Obviously, like, there's an age comparison, right? You've got 18 to 22-year-olds, and then these are grown men. But do you guys see that maybe being an issue for Seattle, especially the offense that we just talked about that we think has a little bit of concern?
For me, I think the better team wins. Granted, these teams are really close, though, in the NFL, a lot closer than college football. So, yeah, there could be some things that can happen, a fumble here, a pick there, a missed assignment, that type of thing. But based off the NFL and them playing 17 games and everyone's banged up, I think personally, not that I've been in the NFL locker room, I think they would probably, value that additional week to get right, to get those aches and pains taken care of versus some of these, some of the colleges, like you said, you're talking 18, 22-year-old guys, right? Granted, the winner may play 16 games this year in college football, which is crazy. I remember when it was 11, 16 now. So yeah, I think they could use the rest, but I mean, they come out flat. Then I guess we're gonna say, hey, they had the extra week hurt them.
There you go. It's going to be interesting. I'm not going to do a lot of NFL talk because we may be doing a live stream tomorrow to kind of preview the playoffs and everything else and whatnot. So that's really where I wanted to hit NFL-wise. We've hit a lot of college football. I'm going to leave the floor open to wherever you guys want to go with, whether that's NBA, college basketball, wherever you guys want to hit. We've got, another 30 minutes here in the show. So wherever you guys want to go.
I want to piggyback real quick on what Kai said and what you asked about the layoff and the comparison.
Yeah, let's stay on football for a minute because that's some good dialogue. I know where you're going with this too.
Like, this NFL is going to get 7 days layoff. That ain't no layoff, or 14 days. They're not going to get 30. They're not going to get 25. They're not going to get 24. That's a different type of layoff. This layoff isn't over 2 holidays. If you don't make it to your conference championship, you got a layoff ended in Thanksgiving going through Christmas. That's a long layoff. They're going to get a week off. Week off, back to the regular normal schedule. They're going to play on a Saturday or Sunday like they usually. They're not going to play Saturday for 12 games, all of a sudden play on Thursday or Friday. So that changes travel, changes everything. Like college football as a whole, needs to cut down that layoff and make Saturday sacred. Games are played on Saturday. Keep them on their schedule. Yep. So I think the pros going to adjust better because the organization, the NFL, the brass has adjusted better. Has said, hey, we're going to keep this as normal as we possibly can.
Yeah.
It just hit me, right? We talked about this layoff. Think about Oregon. They didn't play in their conference title game, right? They did that. Their last week was prior to the conference title week. They had 35 days because I think it was that weekend of Thanksgiving, and they didn't play until this past week, prior week, whatever the hell. I'll get my days confused because the holiday mix. I think they had 34, 35 days out, which is crazy when you're talking about that type of time. I wouldn't want that type of time if I'm a college coach. Maybe give me 2 weeks, but give me 4 weeks. That's tough. And, I think it's all going to turn come January 23rd. And I'm not saying I want it to. I absolutely believe it will because they were already talking about 16 teams, right? And I think come January 23rd, they're going to have this framework up to Ramon's point, condense it. I think games – listen, I've made a post. And the Ramon remembers this: Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, all on the same day. Pick what game you're gonna watch, and if 2 games are on at the same time, so be it. The problem is money. There's so much more money involved now, and that's why these games. Like, look at this coming week. There's a game on Thursday, then there's a game on Friday. I'm jonesing. There's not going to be another college football game on a Saturday until September. You know how foolish that sounds to someone who's seen it all like this? That seems crazy. But it's about TV and the money though. It's crazy.
Excuse me. Who is this? Oregon played their last game of the regular season on the 29th of November. And then they didn't play again to the 20th of December.
The 20th of December?
Yep. Because they played James Madison.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about James Madison.
But hold on. I'm glad you said that because everyone talked about how sloppy they looked against James Madison, how James Madison scored 34 points. Man, how does James Madison score 34 points? Yeah, you know why? Because I'm rusty. And I got that rust out. And even though I didn't play my best offensive game against Texas Tech because they got a really good defense, Texas Tech didn't score any points because they're rusty. And my defense isn't rusty anymore because we just got 4 quarters worth of live snaps.
Yeah. You remember back in the day, when they talked about, and then the theory was when Nick was even in Baton Rouge, the talk was he allows players to hit too much. That's why when they get to the NFL, they don't play as well because they're worn out. But here's the thing to that point. All of them were always prepared for those college games. It wasn't no sleepwalking for the first 2 quarters. You know, it's something to be said about live practices, right? And live hitting, taking guys to the ground, right? So yeah, that's a good point. It's a lot going to be determined though, you know, in 19 days. A lot's going to be determined in 19 days. And I want all the smoke. And we definitely need, whenever they make that decision, we definitely want to go live on that day, on that 23rd. That because a lot of people have a lot of opinion about it, right? It should never be more than 12. It needs to be more than 12. We're all over the board. And if they push it out for another year, that's interesting because they're losing out on a lot of money by pushing out another year.
Yep. No, it'll be interesting. I mean, I said it a couple nights ago. I don't think they should extend it to 12. I think I think they should keep it at 12. I don't think they should extend it to 16. If they do extend it to 16, makes things pretty boring. You know, when we get to this point next year or next November or wherever, and they're deciding on who's in and who's out, it's gonna be pretty boring because you're gonna get
team 17, 18, and 19 gonna be mad.
But that's not the same as a Notre Dame being out. The big teams are gonna get in, like teams that.
But the example's already there, though. I'm not telling you what I feel. I'm telling you what example in college basketball. No one thinks Team 67 is going to win anything.
Yeah, but that's
hold on. But I'm just saying. I'm talking intercollegiate sports. The only difference is one's football, one's basketball. People are complaining. This team is 20-11. They've got 3 quad wins, and this team has 2 quad wins. I don't know what we're missing. It's going to be very similar to college football, college basketball. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's coming. I know. And we've seen it in the BCS 4 now 12. I mean, and when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Why would we believe anything else would be different after 16? What do we have that proves that?
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying it'd be boring. You know, I don't want to come on here and talk about should 10-2 Missouri be in.
Hey, I don't care. I tell you what, you stay your ass at home. Me and Ramon will be on here talking all day long and twice on Sunday. That's exciting. That is absolutely exciting, and that's what they're going to play into. You'll see. I'm not telling you what I'm thinking. I'm telling you what the blueprint is there.
We would have seen 9-3 Texas get in when they shouldn't be in.
See, you're talking from an individual perspective, just like us about the NBA. Same thing. So that
Isaiah, you said a 9-3 Texas shouldn't be in, and who should be in?
I wasn't saying anybody should be in. I'm just saying in general, like if we have 16 teams next year, I don't care to talk about 10-2 Missouri missing the playoffs.
Hey, Ramon,
compared to 3 other 10-2 teams.
We'll do that show ourselves. We'll do that show.
Compare to other 10-2 teams, like what type of 10-2 teams? I'm curious.
I have no idea. I'm just naming them out loud. It's just
because you don't want to see it. That's why
I don't see an interest in it. I mean, when we're arguing about 12 teams being in, you're still talking about teams that may have finished inside the top 10. You expand this to 16 teams. We're talking about teams that are ranked number 17 in the country, which I don't really care about.
In it? Okay, fair enough, Isaiah. Remember these words, because when you bring up the play-in game, I'm gonna light your ass up.
What do you mean the play-in game? What? Hold on.
He doesn't see the interest in 16 teams.
I hate the play-in. I don't like the play-in.
Don't talk about it then.
I don't like the
play-in. Talk about it. We're gonna start the playoffs after that.
The Emirates Cup. Hey, don't forget, Ramon, the Emirates Cup, the mid-season tournament that means nothing. That doesn't even go towards ratings. Remember, the Emirates Cup does not go against wins and losses in the season. Doesn't go against it. No, it doesn't.
It literally does. What? Look at the Magic's record as a prime example
the
of it.
Emirates Cup. I'm talking about the Emirates Cup, not the game leading up to the Emirates Cup. Doesn't go against wins and losses.
You talking about the semifinals and the finals?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, okay. We ain't talking about that anymore either. Hey, Ramon, no semifinals or finals of the Emirates Cup and no playing game talk.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm interested in something like that, right?
I'm just saying right now, that's how I feel right now. That could obviously change. I just don't find it that appealing to talk about.
Isaiah Hoffman doesn't.
I know we'll still talk about it. Obviously, I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not saying, well, next year we're not going to talk about it at all. That's not what I'm saying.
Hey, we could do it. Listen, the way me and Ramon go in, we could do a 3-hour show on a 16-team contest.
I think 16 teams in college football prior to the last couple of years would have been terrible. But I think 16 teams now, with how the portal and the money is, and
balance,
it balances. There's no more dominant teams. I honestly look at this 4 teams in it right now, and I can't say. I know people want to say one team is just head and heels better than the rest. I can't see. I think all 4 of these teams can actually win it.
I agree.
Yeah, I would definitely.
I still think
you would definitely
obviously
think
I use the favorite, but I agree. I mean,
someone got to be the favorite, right? And I think based off of what Indiana's done, you would lean them. But if Miami came out and won it, not totally surprised. Oregon, not totally surprised. Or Mississippi, Ole Miss, okay. It wouldn't be 87 Indiana over Syracuse, right?
Right.
It wouldn't be a magnificent upset, right? It just wouldn't be that. But again, that's why we watch it, and that's why they play the game, right? For the fun of it, and for obviously the competition. And I think those 2 games this coming weekend are going to be great games.
Yeah,
hard hitting, great games. And they've got both teams have had about a week to recover. Now you'll see coaching and these matchups and how fast you get it on the fly, right? So yeah, I think this this is going to be an example of what we're ready to see, and it's a tie-in where I was going to talk about too, the portal, over 4,500 in the portal and counting. If you go to On3, they got a tab, a counter for portal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was all over this weekend, and I'm gonna tell you that's why for us as fans, why it's beautiful, because now it's no longer Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, USC dominating their day, Michigan or Clemson. Now
it's not beautiful for me.
That's fine. Listen, it makes for good viewing to me. We always want our team to win. I get that. I want my team to win.
Definitely entertaining. Definitely entertaining.
You just don't know. This Texas Tech came out and they said, well, they paid for all their players. Well, they didn't even spend as much money as Oregon did in NIL, right? But as the years go, the Texas Techs of the world, and here's why I also say it does mean the money. You got to spend the money the right way. Texas A&M is the richest school in the BCS in college football. The richest school, A&M. Tell me how many titles they've got in football. Exactly. So just because you got the money, you still got to spend it in the right ways. And that's where that leadership and those GMs of the school and all that recruiting stuff, that's where all that will matter. Because they spent money. It just hasn't equated into a title game or title win. So that, for me, that's the part I like. Yeah, you want your team to win. Got it. Man, you can't. No one's going to be betting any crazy money this week other than those alum of those schools. Regular bettors, we're going to be real cautious because things are real even this weekend.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Real even. So, yeah, that's just my take on college football. I mean, I don't want to let it go, man. I ain't going to lie. I've been jonesing. We got 3 games left, man, not including the Senior Bowl. So, Ramon, also, by the way, I was thinking, Ramon, I got some family down in Mobile. I may want to tie in, man, and get down to Mobile and catch the Senior Bowl, man. I don't want to let this season go, man.
You gonna go catch the Senior Bowl, boy? You really?
I don't want to let it go, man. I'm dead serious, man.
Now you better get on YouTube and look at some games over.
But we know the outcome of those.
Hey, man.
I'm serious, man. This has been for me one of the funnest college football seasons I've had in a long time, man. Talking college football every week, something crazy happening, a team getting beat that shouldn't get beat, team that winning. Where did that come from? We talked about Oregon and Indiana early in the season. Isaiah looked into the camera and told all 70,000 Oregon fans, "You're gonna win," and Indiana, "You're gonna lose." And he did the old finger pointing. He did the old Brian Kelly fist stomp on the desk and everything. Man, you listen. I'm sorry. This is my time, man. So
I think, man, I was in a discussion the other day about Indiana, and I know Indiana fans are going to probably fight me. I don't care. I'm good with them hands. Y'all better watch out. No, but they were talking about Coach Cignetti, right, and how good he is as a coach, and he's undoubtedly good as a coach. But I think the best thing he did was something that now I'm sitting back and just looking at things, is that he did something, and we're seeing it now twice in 2 years. If they win it, we'll see this. The old teams win.
He got no babies over there.
There's no babies on that team. None. I did not know how old that team was, so I started breaking down that first 22 and seeing all them 6-year, 5-year, 4-year players in that first 22. I'm like, wow. And then I thought about it again. Man, outside of last year when we won at Ohio State, outside of our receiver and our DB, we had 4th-year, 5th-year players on that team. You know, and I was like, wow. You know, and a 5th-year 3-star versus a 1-year, 2-year 5-star. I'm gonna lean toward that 5th-year 3-star if he's in the right program, because he's really developed and really good right now.
3 extra years in the weight room, man.
Yeah, and so the biggest thing that I think Sig did was, man, he's like, hey, I'm gonna get a mature team, and guess what? A mature team does. What we just talked about with our guest basketball coach, they understand concept, they understand scheme, they understand, you know, if he does this is what's going to open up over here. You know, the IQ is increased, and it's just not playing off raw talent. So I think that's his biggest skill. Like, man, he got older guys in, buy-in, and they're doing their thing.
Yeah. No, good point there, man. And also, it's great to have those guys, but also you got to have the mentality for it as a coach, right? You know, and he does, man. That dude is a stoic. He's not a yeller and screamer in public. You know, we don't know what he does in the locker room, but you know, on the outside, on the peripheral, he's as cool as a cucumber, man. And nothing like looking over when you've got some adversity and your coach has the same dang on look he's had all year long. You know, he said that I won't allow the score or the time of the game to impact how I coach my team. That's very now. A lot of coaches say that. But for you to do that, that's a big one.
Touchdown, Hoosiers! Let's pan over to Kurt Cignetti.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, they won the national title. I bet you he'll be having some type of meeting the next day.
Coach, you just won the national championship, the first national title in Hoosiers football history. How are you feeling? It's pretty cool, huh? Something like that. When they weren't 10-0, he's like, it's pretty. He's like, just something Jokic-like, right? Yeah. I think if they win the Natty, I think hopefully there's a little bit of emotion from them. You know, we'll see. You know, I would hope the moment you've built towards your entire career, or maybe a moment he didn't think he didn't ever
hug people.
He maybe it was a moment he think he never would have gotten to, you know, just with the way, you know, you just think about, you know, coming into a program like IU, starting at JMU or wherever he was before JMU, obviously, but going to JMU, then IU, you know, it's a point where it's like, maybe he didn't expect to be here yet. Right. But he, you know, so
if you ask him, he said he expected it.
Yeah.
I mean, he when he was at Assembly Hall and spoke about Purdue, Ohio State, and Michigan. He said, they all suck, and I'm going to beat them. And we laughed. I laughed. Here we go. I said, this is Coach 6 in 12 years. Here we go. Guess what? Ain't nobody laughing now.
No.
You know, so now, but
I'm laughing, man. Damn, are you?
He's got to finish it off. He's got to finish it off.
Hey,
Though.
Ramon.
You win it.
Is how's Jeremiah Smith enjoying Cancun? Did you talk to him and Ryan Day? Or they?
Oh man,
already?
he said he's gonna go visit all them Atlanta Falcons. They've been on vacation for a long time.
You know what? Fair play.
No.
The Niners will be joining the Cowboys sooner rather than later. So that's all,
back
it'll be
off
all
my
good.
Niners, man.
Hopefully the Eagles are there too. I don't need the
So
Eagles.
who gonna win it, man? Who y'all got in the championship? Ole Miss or Miami? Who you got? Ole Miss or Miami? Everybody on the line right now. Ole Miss or Miami?
Oh God, here we go. This dude, here he goes. This dude, this loser, man. This guy. Hey man, we gonna block this dude, man. Hey, you talking about a thorn in somebody's side?
The
right?
smile jumped up on the screen, man, and I felt violated, haunted, or something like that. I'm like, man.
Ramon, I've got IU in Miami.
You got IU in Miami.
I've got IU in Miami.
I've got IU and I've got Ole Miss and IU winning in a close one.
I got Ole Miss and I got Oregon. And I got Ole Miss winning it all.
Wow.
Of course you would have Ole Miss winning it all. You got to stay consistent, right?
I've been talking Ole Miss for a minute, haven't I? So
that's what I'm saying. You got to stay consistent, man. Hey, but I see me. I can't believe me and this guy agreeing on something.
Thought, man.
Huh?
Everybody stop for 1 second. I got to address this dude. Reggie, we didn't ask you for your opinion, man. We don't care who you think is going to win. We don't care. We know Southern ain't winning it all now. Ha.
Wow.
Hey, but you know, that's the thing, right? Everybody's got their opinions and their feelings involved, but I don't think anybody would disagree that this hasn't been an exceptional last month and a half of college football, man. A lot of talk, a lot of dialogue back and forth, a lot of broken hearts. A lot of Notre Dame fans are still heartbroken, clearly, while Reggie continues to chime in. But it's going to be fun over these next few years to see how this thing shakes out. But
hey, Reggie.
If it's 16
Reggie's
teams,
like,
Ramon, you think Ramon at 16, you think Notre Dame will get in?
Oh, yeah, you know, I got a better question for Mr. Sykes if he's still listening. Hey, Reggie, is your Notre Dame basketball coach going to get fired for what he did the other day?
Hey, but you know what? But as my mom used to say, land on joke side for a minute, the coach wasn't the first one who went after the referee. Go look back at that video. It was that player, the blonde player with the bigger hair. He was the one who went first and got stopped by an assistant coach. And I'm not talking about how I feel. I'm talking about what happened. That player went first, and then the coach, he just steamrolled, right? All I say to that is this. I've never been to the Notre Dame practice game or in their huddle. That says a lot, right? For your coach to be that animated as if that was something's going to change. I wanted to say, let him go. What is he going to do when he and the referee are right there face to face? That's what I want to, you're not going to put your hands on him.
Hey, Shrewsbury from Cathedral, baby. He may put them holy hands on him, man.
Well, him holy hands will be somewhere else. He'll be like Michigan coach. He'll be wishing.
Hey, that's what it is.
He was upset. It was a bad call, by the way.
It was a bad call, definitely a bad call. And I understand Coach Shrews. I understand it's anger, So, I mean, I'm not telling him not to be angry, but I do have a problem, and not a problem, a thought. Man, these light-skinned basketball coaches are gangster nowadays, man. Juwan Howard, Shrewsbury, man, dude.
Hey, Juwan Howard from Chicago, man, from the South Side, man.
they gangster, man. These light-skinned coaches, man, they go hard.
Man. Well, Isaiah, you next? You go.
What I do?
I know you light skinned. You gonna go in on somebody?
We gonna say something he don't like. We gonna think he walking off his little screen, and then he gonna appear in one of our screens. Like, whoa!
One of those dogs gonna go flying across the screen.
Hey, I'm good today. I was excited to have Hester on, but other than that, I really don't got much that I wanted to hit on today.
Well,
Obviously, I'm
we've
looking
hit a lot.
forward.
We've hit a lot, man. We've hit a
Yeah.
lot. We've hit a lot of college. We hit NFL. The big thing, I think, NFL today, whose last game is today? Because tomorrow's Black Monday. I wish we could find another Monday to call it.
Kevin Stefanski's
I'm gonna call it firing Monday.
I'm letting you know right now, Stefanski's gone. It seems like.
Speaking of the Browns, man, Isaiah, you need to do my AI so I can start my trolling.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I need to give you the login so you can log into StreamYard, record those yourselves, and then that way I can edit.
No, that's not what he's talking about. It was something.
No,
we'll talk about it offline. We'll talk about it offline.
Okay. But folks, what a show. Always great to have Daryl and Ramon. It's great to have all three of us together. Ramon, when we get done here, let's talk. I know you're also the athletic director. Hopefully maybe we can do a show tomorrow evening and we can preview the NFL playoffs and talk about that as a group as well. Folks, I want to remind you to go check out our website. I'm going to pull that up real quick. Make sure to check out the Game Time Network website where you can check out all the info about us and the show itself. Look at those beautiful pictures of us and our info. And then is it on screen? Or did you add it? Thank you, Dale. And then obviously Game Time Live, the show that you're seeing right now. And then we've also got all the shows, and eventually we will have a new show in this slot. We're not going to announce it yet. We're still working on it. Obviously, Ramon just teased it a little bit, but we'll have Ramon getting his own show here in a couple weeks as well. And then obviously the merch section. This is brand new. If you want to order a shirt, Reggie, if you want to order a Cots Corner t-shirt, since that's your favorite person in the world, Reggie, you can order that hoodie or shirt right here on our website, thegametimenetwork.org. Reggie, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to put the link in the chat because I know you want to support your friend Daryl. So go ahead and support Daryl and a Cots Corner hoodie or t-shirt for me.
Put it on the shirt. Put it on the shirt. Go down and show what it looks like.
I will in just a second. Or you could buy a hoodie or shirt from the best recorded show of the bunch, Game Time After Hours. You know, everybody wants to hate on me covering the NBA, but I don't know. I've got the most successful recorded video in Game Time Network history talking NBA. So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have two of them to put it on record. But yeah, you know, if you want, you know, let's say I'm gonna buy a hoodie, right? And I want the Game Time Network logo, or I want the Game Time After Hours logo, or I want Cots Corner, I want that logo, or the new show, Ramon's Playbook, maybe I want that shirt, or I want that logo on the shirt as well. And then you can also get Following the Pack, or the A show, the A brand of Game Time Network, Game Time Live. So folks, make sure to check that out. I did not mean to back out all the way. It's all good. But yeah, folks, make sure to check out all the content on the channel. We've had 3 new uploads go up. If you want to hear me talk about Justin Herbert's legacy, you can click on that video. Obviously, this video is a little out of date at this point, but if you want to see if Cott was right or wrong with his predictions, you can check that out. And the Luka Doncic problem. Is there a problem? Is there not a problem? You can check out that video as well. So, folks, make sure to check out all the content on the channel. Any last words before we get out of here, gentlemen?
Yes, you got some last words.
Me?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I do. That is correct. Folks,
yeah. So do your thing, and then I'll do my part when you're done.
We are happy to announce. I know we've got one more sponsor announcement for you all today. Not only are we sponsored by Matt Gaddis and Wired to the Nines, we have one more sponsor. We are so excited to announce that Bigsy's Sports Bar, right, or Sports Grill, is now an official sponsor of the Game Time Network. And what comes with that will be one in-house show from the sports bar itself. Me, Daryl, Ramon, or sometimes me and Daryl will do one in-person show at that sports bar and grill, and we'll sit down for about an hour and a half, and we'll talk sports. And if you come to the show, if you get involved, if you start an argument with me, if you start an argument with Daryl, you get a t-shirt, you get a hoodie. We'll bring some t-shirts and hoodies. We'll bring some business cards so you can scan the QR code. If you show that you sub to the channel, You may get a t-shirt or hoodie for free. Everybody loves the word free, right? 4-letter word. You get stuff for the cost of $0. It's not a bad deal. So make sure you guys give a shout out to, or show some love to our friends over at Bigsy's. They will be in the banner come the next episode. Daryl, I'll let you speak on it. You are our business side of things, and you were able to get this deal done.
Well, first of all, we've been looking to branch out and touch on not just, age group of 25 to 34. We want to touch on everybody. And this is a sports show. And my thought was, as I live near Bigsy's, I said, why not try to do some type of a tie-in? We're a sports show, sports grill. It's a cool place. They got a lot of nice stuff. So why not have some conversation? So I started talking to the owners, Lita and Matt, a few weeks ago. I've always been going there for the last couple of years since they took over as ownership group. Lita and Matt are two wonderfully nice people, very easygoing, easy to contact, and are avid sports fans. So what we've talked about is partnering up, coming alongside Bigsy's, talking about their great food, their great drink specials to tie into what we do as well. And in my conversation with Lita this past week, I double high-fived her, and we had some great conversation. And just want everybody to know, this is, again, this is just the beginning. We're doing as much as we can to reach as many people as we can. And this partnership is going to help not just, GameTimeNetwork.org is going to help Bigsy's as well. Get some people going in there talking about game time and having some fun. They got plenty of television. They got a couple of pool tables, and they got dartboards. They've got an outdoor covered patio as well. So more to come on our partnership with Bigsy. It will be on our webpage. We'll be speaking to it and promoting it throughout. And I'll definitely be sharing it along with Matt Gaddis, best State Farm agent in the state of Indiana, along with Wire to the Nines, your best low voltage spot that you can find in any way, shape, or form. So definitely proud of that partnership, and we look forward to big things as we go forward.
Yes, indeed. When we announce that first in-house show, we will announce it right here on this very channel. The Seattle fans have found us. Seattle!
Yes, they are. He said we tried to warn you. Hey, fair enough. Listen, Seattle fans, I'm going to do this. Let's cut the music a little bit.
Hold on. Give me just a sec.
Seattle fans, I want to look into the camera. I want, just like Isaiah did when he talked about Oregon, I want to apologize to Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks fans. I was wrong for not buying 2 weeks ago. Not only am I buying, I'm buying some chicken wings for y'all too at Bigsy's Bar and Grill. So understand that, and we're gonna have some fun. But Seattle, I'm on board right now. Let's ride. Let's ride till we can't ride anymore. Congratulations, Seattle.
Chargers, Seahawks, Super Bowl in the stars. What?
You listen, hey Ramon, he won't say Chargers after week one. It'll be over with.
Eliminate all Seattle fans from being able to comment in the comments. Now they can watch.
You don't need all. You already got Bears fans on you, so you can't. You got to lay low a little bit.
You gonna need some protection. You're gonna need some protection, Ramon.
Ain't nobody worried about Bears fans, man.
I don't know. It's good to see Daryl making amends with Seahawks fans. And Reggie, clearly he's not a believer in Seattle. He's not buying into Seattle.
Hey, Reggie still thinks the Colts got a chance to get into the playoffs, man.
Right. I guess. Well, we'll see what happens. It should be an interesting Sunday of NFL. And then, yes, Black Monday. Who's going to get fired? I'm saying Stefanski will be fired. Mike McDaniel, his job will be saved. It seems like the Colts are going to hold on to Ballard and Steichen, so I'll have a rant ready for that when they officially decide to keep both of them. But we will see what happens. Fellas, what a show. We will see you guys tomorrow, more than likely, for another edition of Game Time Live. But that's going to do it, folks. You're watching Game Time Live, presented by the Game Time Network. See you guys soon.